Okay, I'm gonna close my door. Good afternoon, Commissioner. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
We haven't had anybody else log on, Commissioner. Let me follow up with Chairman Garza.
I haven't heard from anyone.
Oh, there we go. We got more coming in. There we go.
Cool. I'll be here.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Can you all hear me?
Good afternoon, Ann. This is Jaime. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Jaime?
Doing well.
Great.
We got everyone logging in right now.
I mean, I'm logged in. Just tell me when we're going to start, okay?
Is that you, Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other voting members that are logging in, would you please identify yourself? In case your name is not on the Zoom meeting. We have a couple of Zoom users.
This is Willie Keeping with Texas Parks and Wildlife.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Appreciate you.
Troy Allen, Delta Lake Irrigation District.
Mr. Allen, good afternoon. Thank you for joining, sir. By any chance, Mr. Joey Trevino, are you on the call? Mr. Rene Estrada? Joe Khalifa? Mr. Pepe Caso? Jose Caso? Ms. Laura Haley? Mr. Ernesto Garcia? We're waiting on quorum, Chairman.
Is Raul Gomez on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you text some of these guys, Raul, please?
Yeah, let me see.
We do have Mr. Khalifa logging in. I know that Mr. Daniel Lucio and Hudson Deoy did send a message that they were not going to be available today.
Commissioner Ernie Garcia is trying to log on right now.
Perfect. Let me reach out to Miss Haley as well.
Hey, Raul, send Ernie Garcia the login info so he can log in. Okay.
Yeah, will do.
Or a number to call, one or the other.
Okay.
Probably a number to call would be better for Ernie Garcia because I think he's driving.
Welcome to Zoom. Enter your meeting ID followed by pound.
Mr. Khalifa, are you on? Mr. Joe Khalifa?
They can schedule it, and I'm also going to send the
We've got Mr. Caso on the line, Chairman, as well. We're still 3 voting members away from quorum, Chairman.
Okay, so who do we have?
Right now, we have yourself, Commissioner Fuentes, and Pepe Caso on the line. That's 3 out of the voting members that we have. We need 3 more for quorum.
Was that Laura on the line by chance? I thought I heard her voice.
It's Pepe Caso. I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, was Laura Haley on the line?
No.
No, sir.
And, and I think it would just be one person because we're both the small business representative.
Mr. Khalifa, I spoke to him. He said he was logging on, but he hasn't gotten on
Yeah.
yet.
And Ernie was supposedly logging on. I mean, did we provide a phone number also or not?
Yeah,
Yes, sir,
I
there's-
just, I emailed, I texted Commissioner Garcia and, Rene Estrada, the call-in number, and I tried it myself, so it does work.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
A Zoom option and a call-in option, Chairman.
Okay, I just zoomed in. I didn't even look. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, no worries.
I will note there is a restriction that you have to be logged into Zoom, so that might be a potential hangup.
Yeah, I had to deal with that. It took a little while.
Thank you, Nate. Good
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jaime.
Oh, I was just thanking Nick for his comment, Chairman. We're good.
Was there an update to the Zoom app or something? Because I had a hard time today logging in.
Not to my knowledge, Chairman. Everything worked
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got almost 21 participants on the line now. We do have another call in.
Hello.
Hello, Commissioner, is that you, Commissioner Garcia?
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Ernie, are you on Zoom or are you on call?
I'm on a call. This Zoom is not working for me. Try it.
Mr. Khalifa has not called you, Jaime?
No, sir. He is not. We spoke to him. He was trying to log on, but we don't see him trying to log on our end. So,
Yeah.
and he hasn't called back. No other logins as of this time, Chairman.
Okay, so that being the case, we might have to reset our meeting. Uh, Nick, what are our alternatives in regards to the rules for this? Do we have to post a meeting and give it the 7 days again?
I believe so. I'm pulling up the bylaws right now. Give me 1 second to.
Can't remember right offhand.
No, you're okay. Let me see. Give me 1 second.
And I thank everyone that's logged in so far, but we're gonna need a quorum. This would be our first time ever to not have a quorum at our meeting, so.
That's correct, Chairman.
Can
It
you all hear me?
looks, oh,
Go ahead, Nick.
so it looks like, yes, you can redo a meeting. However, it does need to be 7 days out. So if you would like, for the 26th to be the next meeting, you can. Y'all can post it today and then have it up for today. But as of right now, yeah, unfortunately without meeting quorum, you would have to repost the meeting.
I mean, can we repost the meeting for the 26th and do it at 3:30 so we can meet the 7 full days limit?
Yes, sir. Sure can. I'll do that as soon as.
Okay. And Anne, I know you're on the line. How does this impact what we have to submit in regards to the info? I know that it's not due yet, but can you proceed with our discussion that we had at 2 o'clock meeting?
Yes,
And-
sir. We
Okay.
can just move forward and then seek approval on incorporating the amendments on the 26th.
Okay.
We'll just
Okay.
proceed right now like we have it, and if anything has to
Okay.
change, we'll adapt from there.
Okay. Okay,
Joe
good.
Khalifa's on, was he counted?
That still doesn't make a quorum,
No?
No,
right, Jaime?
that's correct. And I believe, based on the bylaws, I think Commissioner Garcia would also have to be via Zoom. Is that correct, Nick? You're on mute, Nick.
Were you asking if Commissioner you say Garcia?
Yeah, it's one of our voting members. I guess he's on. He wasn't able to log on through Zoom, so he's on a phone call. He's traveling right now, so I don't know if that would count as a voting member, but because he's not on Zoom, he's on a phone call.
That I'm looking through the bylaws right now, but I don't see that as being an issue. However, that you know,
So currently, Chairman, we stand at 5 voting members on this call.
So we need one more.
One more, yes, sir.
This
is Joe Khalifa.
Jaime, do you have me?
I sure do.
Yes, sir.
Khalifa, appreciate
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for logging in. Did you get a hold of Rene Estrada, Raul?
He hadn't responded.
You hadn't responded.
No.
How about,
Let me try one more time.
Or try Joey Trevino.
Okay, hold on.
I guess we're gonna have to.
We need
We'll give it a few more minutes, Jaime, just to see
Yes, sir.
if we can get one more. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Laura was unavailable, right? Well, it's a small business, that's right.
Caso's on the call, yes, sir.
Necesitamos para quórum. Okay.
One more.
All right.
Did you get a hold of somebody, Javier? Raul, any luck?
I think Rene's trying to get on. Joey didn't answer. Or Joey's calling me back right now. Hold on.
Good afternoon, this is Rene Estrada.
Thank you for joining, Rene.
Thank you for the reminder. I had it on my clock here, and I'm safely parked on the side of the road.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Where does that,
Joey's gonna join in too.
okay. Where does that put us, Jaime?
Currently, we stand with 6 voting members and that meets quorum, Chairman.
Okay, okay, and you've got those members that are on documented.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have we gotten any written public comment for this meeting?
None at this time, sir.
Okay. Minutes from the previous meeting. Additions, corrections, or deletions, or a motion to approve is presented and sent to us already. I will entertain. Is there a motion from anyone to approve?
I'll make a
Move to
motion.
approve. Yeah.
This is
There.
David, second.
Second, thank you, Commissioner. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Minutes are approved. Item number 5 is discussion and update from the Texas Water Development Board.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank y'all all for getting on. I know this is a difficult time after lunch, but thank y'all for getting on for this. So just to cover some things that I need to cover, contract amendments to modify Cycle 2 RFP schedule. On February 12th, 2025, the flood planning team sent out communication via email proposing changes regarding interim deliverables submittal due dates to TWDB. Please note that this is not time sensitive, so adding an agenda item at the next scheduled RFPG meeting will suffice, which I believe we have today. So I don't think I need to remind you all on that. The amendment process guidelines, don't need to remind you on that. And then we hosted a second cycle contract kickoff webinar in November, going over contract details, new scope of work task, payment requests, and amendment guidance. And I can put in the chat the links to those as well for the recording, webinar, and slides. It's also on our website under TWDB flood planning under cycle 2. And then TWDB hosted a payment request webinar on Thursday, January 9th. The webinar covered advances, the payment request checklist, eligible and ineligible expenses, and appropriate backup documentation. The recording and slideshow is also on the TWDB flood planning website. And the TWDB hosted a conference call on Friday, January 31st. The webinar covered Exhibit C and D guidance documents, data updates, and potential schedule changes. The recording and slideshow are on website. There is going to be another guidance call soon. I do not have a date as of yet, but once I do, I will send that out to the chair, sponsor, and tech consultants. And y'all are free to share with whoever else.
Anything else or any questions of Nick? Thank you so much for the update, Nick, and we will await the email for a subsequent meeting coming up and share it with the group. Item number 6 is approval and certification of administrative expenses incurred by the planning group sponsor for the development of the regional flood plan. Jaime?
No items to present at this time, Chairman.
Okay, so no action is needed. Item number 7 is discussion and approval of applications submitted by nominees of Region 15 voting members.
Chairman, we went out for solicitations for voting members. We had a total of 4 positions available. We did receive 2 applications, one for Water District, which was submitted. I apologize. One for Floods District that was submitted by Mr. Craig Harmon from Cameron County Drainage District number 3. Mr. Harmon did call to notify me this morning that he was going to pull his application. I believe he has taken employment at a different location, so he won't be available to participate. The second application received was from Mr. Michael Kent. And Michael Kent, I know if anyone had any questions, I know I forwarded all the applications for your review. Mr. Michael Kent submitted his application under the Water District. At this time, Chairman, I'll let you discuss it. We do have Mr. Kent on the line if you have any questions. You there, Chairman?
I'm sorry. There were two others that had come in. Mr. Kent, I know I sent them in, but there was let me see. I don't know if you didn't get. So the only two you got were Kent and who else?
And Craig Harmon, sir.
And Craig, okay.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't know if we want to delay this. I don't know if there's a problem if we wait for our next meeting to do this.
I
Because
move
there's
that, if
other,
I can move that we table this. This is Vanessa.
yeah, because we've got some other applications that are in my possession that were sent to me, that were emailed to me. One of them is from a gentleman by the name of Ivan Santoyo from Laredo. He is with the city of Laredo. Another one was from Annabelle Salinas. She is with Drainage District number 1 in Cameron County. And I believe there was one more. I can't remember Troy Allen, also.
Okay.
So I would like to entertain a motion to make sure that everyone has copies of all the applications for the subsequent meeting so that they can be reviewed and we can make a decision at that time.
Just one thing I would like to point out. If that were the case, y'all, Jaime would need to repost these submittals online,
Right.
which will take 30 days. I know that you have currently one person that has submitted on time and is currently present, which would also help with quorum.
Well, and I don't have a problem with that, okay, with that, Nick,
Yeah.
at all. If that's,
I would like to table it just to let everybody else apply again.
I second the motion to table. Is this Vanessa?
okay. That being the case, any other discussion in regard to this? All in favor of tabling, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. All those against it say no. Motion carries. The item is tabled, and Renee will have to repost and get this taken care of in that manner. Okay.
I'll review.
And
I'm gonna.
just to clarify,
sorry.
the people that already submitted, do they need to resubmit or how? What's the process going to be?
I don't believe so, but we'll check it out, and if they do, we'll let them know. Okay. We
Yes,
want to
sir.
make sure and include as many potential submissions as we can, and then have the full board consider and choose what's most appropriate for us.
Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, and we'll let everybody know during the process. I would like to ask at this point, I know it's a little bit out of order, but are there any public comments out there from anyone in the public that has zoomed into the meeting that would like to express any concerns or any issues to the full board right now before we go to the rest of the items? If not, 11 is done. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ann with Half Associates so that she can give us a brief presentation on items 8, which is discussion and presentation of the data collection survey and the interactive map. Item number 9, discussion and presentation of FMXs submitted for the 2023 plan amendment. Item number 10, requesting approval to incorporate them, and we'll have an action item on that. Item number 11 is discussion and approval by the planning group to authorize the regional flood planning sponsor, the Hidalgo County Drainage District, to execute an amendment to the contract with the water. Actually, why don't we do item 11 right now before I turn it over to Ann? That way she'll be on for the rest. I'll go ahead and do item 11, discussion and approval for the planning group to authorize a regional flood planning sponsor, which is Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1, to execute an amendment to the contract with Texas Water Development Board to extend the interim submittal deadlines for the 2028 regional flood plans. And I would need a motion for that to occur from someone.
This is Joe Khalifa. I'll make a motion to approve that item.
Thank you, Mr. Khalifa. Is there a second?
Second by Jose Caso.
Thank you, Mr. Hato. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Jaime, you can go ahead and do that. And thank you. I'll let you proceed with items 8, 9, and 10. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? And can everybody see the presentation, the first slide with the title slide?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks y'all for being here today. I appreciate you taking the time to join the meeting. I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. We have a few items to get through, but I'm going to go through these pretty quickly. If at any point you have questions or want additional information, feel free to stop me, or we can spend some time after the meeting and go into more detail if necessary. Not letting me advance the slide. Okay, there we go. I think that worked. So basically my presentation is going to cover items 8 through 12. I guess we're just doing 8, 9, 10, 11 right now. So starting with the 8th agenda item, I'm going to give just kind of a brief overview of the data collection survey and the interactive map. So we sent out an initial email blast to Region 15 stakeholders just earlier this week, and we also posted a flyer to the Region 15 website about the survey and data collection tool for on the website. So when you click the link that's provided on the flyer, you're routed to a website where you're given the option of providing data as either a community representative or as a member of the public. Either way, you're required to register by providing an email address and creating a password. This is kind of a screenshot of what it looks like if you enter as a community representative. In that case, you're routed to an initial survey. And I know from the first planning cycle, that survey was a little bit cumbersome, a little long, and I want to assure you we did make an effort to shorten that and simplify it significantly, so it should be a little easier for folks to get through. It basically includes a total of 22 questions that are broken down into 5 different sections that are listed on the slide. There's a section on floodplain management and ordinances, floodplain studies and maps, risk reduction alternatives, flood finance, and hazard mitigation and emergency planning. And then at the end of the survey, users are routed to an interactive map where they can provide details on specific flooding locations. And I'll show you just kind of a quick snippet and walk you through that interactive map here after this next slide. But I did want to show that for members of the public that might want to provide some flood information based on their own personal knowledge and experience, there is an option to just kind of bypass the survey, log in as a member of the public, and you'll be routed right to this interactive map. This is kind of a screenshot of what it looks like when you're sort of zoomed into an area. It's hard, I don't have a lot shown in terms of the map, but you can basically enter an address and it will take you to a location, or you can zoom in manually with your cursor. Once you're zoomed into the area, there's a tool on the top left. There's little arrows, and so that's a picture on the right side of the screen, what that looks like. You can either click the button to enter a flood-prone area and draw a polygon or an area that shows areas that you've seen to flood in the past, or you can enter a point for a road flooding location, and just drop a point in an intersection or a roadway where a user has observed flooding historically. So this is kind of what it looks like when you drop the point for the roadway flooding. You get a little pop-up window that asks for some information about how to characterize that flooding, how often the area floods, if it has some sort of common naming convention that people refer to locally at that intersection. And then similarly, if you have defined an area, you get another pop-up window. If you have information to add, great. If you don't have anything to add, you can bypass that and then just hit submit, and it will log any of the areas or points that you submit to log flood problems in the region. So that was just kind of a real quick overview. I did mention there's a flyer posted on the website about it that gives some instructions, and then it has the link to access the survey and the interactive map. We are going to spend some time doing outreach and reaching out to stakeholders individually to not only get information out there about the survey and the mapping tool, but also help lead folks through it to get responses to the survey if that's what's needed. So that's all I really have on this item. It was just to kind of provide you a quick overview of that survey tool that we just released on the site. If nobody has any questions on that one, I'll go right on to the agenda item 9. Okay, so agenda item 9, we wanted to present the FMXs that we've received to date for the plan amendment. You might recall that from our December Regional Flood Planning Group meeting that the group approved moving forward with preparing a 2023 plan amendment for submission to Texas Water Development Board by their April 1st deadline. Shortly after that meeting, we prepared an informational flyer and a submittal checklist. It was distributed to over 100 stakeholders across the planning region. And we also engaged the Lower Rio Grande Valley Stormwater Task Force to assist in getting out word about the amendment and beginning to collect possible FMXs that could be considered for inclusion into the amendment of the 2023 plan. Beyond the initial email blast that was sent out, our team made over 125 points of contact with Region 15 stakeholders. And this occurred via phone calls, emails, and meetings that we had with different stakeholders. As a result of our outreach efforts, we had multiple entities submit a number of flood management strategies or FMSs, flood management evaluations or FMEs, and flood mitigation projects or FMPs. And this slide provides an overview of the FMSs that were received. So without kind of going into each individual one, which I can do at the end if anybody wants more information, I'm going to provide just kind of an overview of what was submitted by category. We had 14 FMSs that were submitted from Hidalgo County Drainage District 1 and 1 from Cameron County Irrigation District number 6. They included 5 strategies related to regulatory and guidance measures, 5 related to infrastructure projects, 3 related to flood measurement and warning, and 2 related to education and outreach. I'll note that one of the projects submitted by the Cameron County Irrigation District, we temporarily placed it as an FMS. We're awaiting some feedback from Texas Water Development Board. We posed a formal question yesterday about how to best categorize that project and meet the requirements for submitting that FMX into the amendment. But for now, we are tentatively placing it as an FMS until we get that response. This slide kind of summarizes the same information about the FMSs on the last slide, but it provides some specific examples of the types of projects included under the category. Again, I'm not going to sit here and go into too much detail on this unless you want more information. But you can see there was a total of 15 FMSs with a total combined budget of over $17.8 million. The FME category, or flood management evaluations, this was the largest FMX category for which we received submittals. There's a lot of folks that are in need of developing additional study and models in order to move FMPs through to get projects funded. I'm not going to go through and read every entity that was represented by an FME, but they are all listed on this slide. And they cover stakeholders in Hidalgo, Willacy, and Cameron counties. In total, there were 62 FMEs submitted. They were all related to engineering project planning and FMP development for a total cost of over $22.2 million. Finally, we have the last FMX category, the FMPs or flood mitigation projects. These are projects that have already been studied and vetted, and they generally represent projects where entities are seeking to construct projects. In total, we received 11 FMP submittals from 4 different entities, and those are listed on the screen, along with the total number of FMPs submitted by each one. They include a mix of detention, storm drain infrastructure, and comprehensive flood mitigation projects. They were located in Cameron County, Hidalgo County, and Valverde County. I'll note that we have an asterisk next to the 2 projects submitted by Hidalgo County Drainage District 1. This is to indicate that we're waiting on a couple pieces of additional information to formally be able to include them as FMPs, and we're hoping to receive that this week. But we did want to include them in what is presented to you this afternoon so they can be considered for inclusion in the amendment contingent on us receiving all the required information by the end of the week. If we're not able to include these projects on the amendment, we'll continue to work with the stakeholder to make sure we get the information that we need to include them in the regular 2028 planning cycle or a future amendment should there be one prior to the 2028 submittal. Oops. And this was just a map. We couldn't fit all the FME areas on the same map and have it be meaningful or legible. So this was on the northern portion of Region 15 in Valverde County. Those were the FMEs that were submitted by the city of Del Rio. So to summarize those 11 FMPs, the total project cost for those was just over $114 million. So this slide was added to the presentation just earlier this afternoon. It reflects FMX submittals that we received at about 11 a.m. this morning. So in total, there were 46 FMXs. It includes basically the same FMS for 22 different entities and the same of the first FME for the same 22 entities. And then there was a master drainage plan FME for 2 of them. So starting with the FMS, and this was written the same way for all 22 FMS entries, it is to assess, develop, and update city ordinances, orders, policies, engineering specifications, guidance documents, and other flood management tools to promote innovative methodologies and universal regional approaches. And so the total combined budget of those 22 FMSs is $9 million. And then the entities are all listed on the slide in green there underneath that, was that the third bullet? The same 22 project sponsors also submitted what we're calling FME1 on this slide, and that was to complete an inventory needs assessment and rehabilitation study of the city's stormwater detention system. And the budget for those 22 FMEs is $16.5 million. And then finally, the second FME that was submitted to complete master drainage plans for a combined budget of $1 million for the city of Escobedo and La Grulla. So as we just received these this morning, we haven't had time to really review them or go through all the guidelines yet. We are starting to look at these. We're pending a couple pieces of information and we are expecting to receive that hopefully later today. But we wanted to present these still because I think we do have time to incorporate them if the regional flood planning group wants us to look at these for incorporation into the amendment. So again, we'd be asking for approval kind of contingent on our initial review of these projects and their compliance with Texas Water Development Board compliance or guidelines, sorry, and contingent on us receiving all the additional information that we need to process the FMXs by this Friday. I'll also note that at this point, we are going to be needing another meeting after we prepare the amendment and post it for 7 days to review public comment and adopt the plan if so desired before the April 1st submittal deadline. So we're really at the point that anything that hasn't been submitted now, we just do not have time to process and incorporate into the amendment. So these are really the extent of what we're going to be able to collect for the amendment. But we will continue to reach out with stakeholders to collect FMXs that can be incorporated during the regular planning cycle. So that takes us to agenda item 10, which is where we are asking for approval from the RFPG to move forward with incorporating the FMXs into the amended plan. Again, assuming that on those ones where we're missing information, that we're able to get that in the next couple days by the end of the week, and that they meet all of the requirements.
I'll make a motion.
This is David, I'll second.
That's subject to the recommendations of the consultant, correct?
Agreed on my second.
So is it the recommendation of the consultant, or is it that it meets the minimum criteria? To get added to as an FMP or whatever.
I will say, I know the question was addressed to me, but our recommendation would really be based on meeting the criteria and having all the information we need. So I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, Mr. Khalif, I think it's based, I think as long as they can check all the boxes, then.
Right. As long as they can check all the boxes and it meets the criteria necessary for the Water Development Board, they can be submitted as long as it's all done by Friday, right, Ann?
Correct.
And we have
Okay.
a motion and a second. Any other comments or discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Great.
And
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, members of the planning group. So we'll be working pretty hard over the next couple weeks to do all the processing for those FMXs and prepare the amendment. We are going to have to post the amended plan for 7 days before our next meeting. I know we were kind of discussing possibly a day and later in March. I think the 19th was mentioned to have that meeting, which means we'd have to have the amended plan posted a week prior to that on the 12th. So just an FYI. So item 11 is related to the schedule change that's being proposed by Texas Water Development Board, and Nick mentioned this one earlier. I do have a slide here that kind of shows what's being proposed. So the final plan deadline will remain at January 10th, 2028. But there are 3 intermediate deliverables where there was some requests from some of the other regional flood planning groups to extend the submittal deadlines, basically based on some data that is being provided by Texas Water Development Board, and there's been a little bit of a delay on some of those data sets. So what has been discussed and is proposed right now is to extend the submittal of the technical memorandum, which was originally due on September 19th of this year, to January 7th of 2026. The deliverable that involves providing a list of FMEs to be performed by Texas Water Development Board. It's currently set at January 26th, 2026, and it's proposed to move that to March 26th of 2026. And then submittal of the draft plan, which is currently set at February 26th of 2027, is being proposed to extend that to May 26th of 2027. So this hasn't been formally adopted yet. Texas Water Development Board did ask that we start having this conversation with the regional flood planning groups, so that once they formally adopt these changes, we can that Hidalgo County Drainage District can amend their contract with Texas Water Development Board to reflect these changes. So that is what we're showing right now. We do expect that these changes will be adopted. Nick, you don't have a timeline on that, do you? Or maybe you mentioned it before and I forgot.
As of right now, we don't. I know that we're working to get that put out. I know we were waiting for a couple of regions. I think it was one and maybe I want to say 10 or 3 or something like that. That was still waiting. We were waiting to hear back what their preferred draft plan date was going to be. Oh wait, no, did we already send that out, Anne? Am I misremembering something?
No, there was an email that had tentative dates, but they weren't formally adopted, right?
Yes, I think so. I'm looking back to my email right now. I believe yes. We have not sent out an email as of right now that I can see on a deadline for when the draft plans will be due. But it is leaning towards May is uh what the deadline will most likely be, but that is still tentative, so do not take that as written.
And so I don't know if we would come back and get approval or if we're seeking approval once those changes are made to amend it just to match the Texas Water Development Board timeline. Nick,
Did that
sorry.
already happen earlier in this meeting?
Yes, we did
Oh,
that a little bit
sorry.
earlier, and we
That's right. I'm
allowed
sorry. We did this.
yeah, we'll allow the Hidalgo County Drainage District number 1 to do that amendment as necessary.
Yep, I'm sorry. Yep, we did that. Okay. Okay, then the last item, we can move on then, right? Great. So
Yes,
the
ma'am.
last item was regarding the second pre-planning meeting that we need to have. This is a Texas Water Development Board requirement to have 2 pre-planning meetings at the start of the 2028 planning cycle. We did the first meeting during our December RFPG meeting, but we do need to talk about a schedule and a time, to schedule a time and a location for the second meeting. And so the purpose is to really go over the background on regional flood planning, and then gather suggestions, recommendations as to issues, provisions, projects that should be considered in the development of the regional flood plan. So this meeting does not require quorum. It can be held independently from our RFPG meetings if desired, or we could do it at the same time. Since we do need to have another meeting in March, one possibility would be to possibly have this at the end of that meeting. But I just wanted to bring this to y'all's attention and get some guidance on how you want to proceed with that. I will note too, if we're gonna wait to bring in new voting members, it might be valuable information for them as well.
Yes. I would say that it would be great information for any incoming members to be part of those discussions. But that doesn't mean that we can't invite them if they're not yet members to be part of the discussion, because the pre-planning meeting is more like a hearing to the public type of thing. And then we have a meeting to approve it after that occurs. Is that not right, Ed?
Yes, absolutely. We can do that.
One of the suggestions that I had visited with Ann with, and Jaime, I had not called you yet, but was March 19th. If folks can look at their calendars and we can possibly look at availabilities for that day. So in making sure we have a quorum.
Can I get a confirmation? Is this a physical meeting or a virtual?
No, this is a virtual meeting, Mr. Gunn.
Okay. Yeah, I can make it.
Okay. It would be March 19th, and we'll do kind of like the same at 3 o'clock. And I think that the pre-planning meeting that has to happen would happen probably an hour before. And we can invite all of the folks that are looking to possibly be considered for a slot on the original flood planning group to join and listen, because I think it's going to be a really informative meeting that will be put together. And that'll help 2 things. It'll help them get enlightened to exactly what they're getting into. And the other is it'll show us what kind of interest they have in joining our group. Any other thoughts or concerns or Jaime?
We're good with the 19th, sir, at 3 p.m.
You're
No
good?
issues. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we will go ahead and tentatively, as of right now, jot it in your calendars, the 19th of March at 3 p.m. And then the pre-planning meeting will be an hour before that one. Okay. And we'll get you all the info so you can get it all taken care of, Jaime.
Yes, sir. No worries. And just a reminder, that we will be soliciting for voting members again. Just
Yes.
for everyone's knowledge, we have 2 positions under the water districts category. We have 1 position under the flood districts and 1 position under the agriculture. We'll put all the nominations again. I ask everyone to please email them so I don't miss any, to our Region 15 email address, which is region15lrg@hcdd1.org. Everything will be posted accordingly on the Region 15 website. Any questions, of course, you can contact me as it relates to these solicitations, but we will have 2, 3, 4 voting members spots available for this next solicitation. We hope to have all these applications and present them to the committee on the March 19th agenda or meeting.
Thank you, Jaime. And I will follow up more closely with the individuals that sent me information that you didn't get. That way, if they're truly interested, they can make sure and get you guys in the loop. Okay?
Sure, thank you.
And so,
Mhm.
Mr. Salazar, just to clarify, is there a new deadline by when these forms have to be submitted, or it's already cut off?
No, there'll be a new deadline, Mr. Caso, and we'll
Okay.
issue that out, and I'll make sure and send out the new solicitations to the Region 15 email. And
Thank you,
they'll
sir.
have the new dates posted on there.
And for those individuals that have already sent in, they need to just resend what they sent in originally. Mr. Kent, thank you for being on the meeting today. And we will definitely be looking at consideration to everyone. Okay. Anything else, Jaime?
Not at this time, Chairman.
Okay. So the only thing left here is move to adjourn.
Thank you all.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Aye.
Have a great weekend, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.